Hello everyone, Pallytime here. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. We are just at the beginning of our A through Z playthrough of all of the characters in the game in alphabetical order. We started out with Arthas and we lost, unfortunately. Today we are going to be focusing on Anub'arak. He saw a very gigantic spike in power a few months ago, and then it was subsequently scaled back a little bit, and we don't see as much of him as we used to. He was like the #1 win rate hero for a little while. But we're going to jump into a match today. It's been a while since I've played him, so hopefully it's like riding a bicycle. Oh, he sounds weird in French. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves... where are we? We're on the Garden Terror map. At level 1, we are going to go for Beetles, deal more damage. The friendly team, Tassadar, Sylvanas, Azmodan, Jaina, and Anub'arak. The enemy team, Tychus, Abathur, Leoric, Karazim, and Azmodan. So they have more healing, just as a team in general, between Leoric and Karazim. But, depending on what our Tassadar does, we could have more crowd control than them. So it could be interesting to see how this plays out. So... when Anub'arak was added into the game, the AI of his beetles were complete garbage. Well, we should go over his abilities first, right? His Q ability is a long-range skill shot that will put spikes up through the ground and knock up anyone who happens to walk onto those spikes. So we can make as many pregnancy jokes in an episode as we want to. Just like so. His W ability is a shield that encompasses his character. Not for very much shielding, but you know, you do mitigate a little bit of damage. His E ability is a burrow. This is typically used as your escape, but you can use it to initiate as well. And it's going to allow you to cover a little bit of distance and then engage in a fight. Also, when you erupt out of the ground, you will, once again, knock a character up into the air. We are missing several people from the enemy team. Top only has one person. They do have an Abathur, so I mean that's worth remembering, but I'm just gonna stay mid and push the shit out of this. We should be able to punish them pretty hard here. And then our passive, our trait, spawns a beetle whenever we do anything. We cast an ability, we spawn a beetle. We're gonna get a talent soon that is going to just spawn beetles just because time has passed. So, when Anub'arak was introduced, he was mostly used for his crowd control. People played him a lot the first month he came out, and then it kind of died off because, and I was one of these players as well that was incredibly frustrated by this, your beetles would just spawn, and then they would have a mind of their own. There are several examples on this channel where I would be trying to do something with my beetles, and then they would just leave. For instance, getting a mercenary camp. The idea is with the beetles, they used the former idea was that they would attack your target or the closest target to you. A little bit of frame rate lag there. We could potentially engage on this if we really wanted to. We'll go ahead and burrow in here on Tychus, knock him up into the air, and then hit him with the spikes when he runs away to secure first blood for the team. But quite often, I would be doing a mercenary camp like right here. I would spawn a beetle and it would just walk down and go to the lane. This did a number of things you did not want to do. Number one, it revealed your location, which is terrible when you're trying to surprise gank someone or trying to take an objective without the enemy team knowing. Absolutely terrible. It would also just completely, like, never deal any damage to anything meaningful at all and would often chase after just minions in the lane. They did change this a while ago. They made it so the AI is actually good. Like, very good. It's exactly what everyone wanted. But, very soon after that, they nerfed the Ooh, I am in a bad spot here. We're going to knock up at least Tychus for the enemy team, and then just back it on up. But they made it so the beetles deal significantly less damage because all of a sudden, you had, like, heat-seeking missiles on targets that would just chase them down till the ends of the earth. So basically, he got tuned back. I wouldn't really say nerfed. I guess I would actually say nerfed because it was a significant nerf, but it was also required in order to keep the character competitive. But they did that, and basically, Anub'arak went from the #1 win rate down to, yeah, he's okay. Now, he kind of went full circle, and you mostly only see Anub'araks in competitive play anyway. Oh, really congested. I was feeling fine all day, and then all of a sudden I start to record, and I can't even breathe out my nose. But he kind of went for full circle in the fact that look at the spin of friendship, in the fact that he's now once again mostly just picked because he has crowd control. Some of the best crowd control in the entire game. He's never been a super big meat shield. He'll never stack up as far as just pure tankiness with someone like Johanna. But if you want someone controlled on the battlefield, Anub'arak is one of the best characters you could pick to do just that. So there you go. That's my intro. That's my history of Anub'arak. We could focus on the game at hand now. Both teams are level 7. We've gone for pure beetle talents at level 1, 4, and 7. These are going to allow us to spawn beetles periodically. Our beetles are going to heal us, which again becomes more important because our support is a Tassadar, someone not renowned for their healing. And it's basically going to make it so we can take any jungle objective at any time whenever we want to. The beetles are going to be able to tank everything for us, and we can safely just walk in and take down basically any mercenary camp we wanted to. Bosses are the exception, but there are no bosses on this map. One of the little caveats to playing Anub'arak, as I mentioned before, your beetles sometimes would just spawn and completely reveal you to the world, and obviously you don't always want that. So one of the things you could do is actually, I have an active ability right now. Fucking Skype. I have an active ability right now, which I can turn on and off. And as I turn it on and off, it'll basically automate the spawning of my beetles. So just because we pick that talent doesn't mean we're pigeonholed into always doing that. As I put my Skype back on D&D. Thank you, Skype Mobile, for constantly changing my online status. I wholeheartedly appreciate that. Locust Swarm is your survivability, heroic ability at level 10. If you wanted more crowd control, you would go for Cocoon. Generally speaking, Cocoon is my favorite of the two, but we are going to go for survivability here. We are going to get Locust Swarm. It actually does a pretty considerable amount of AoE damage at the same time, so, you know, it's a bit of a hybrid ability. You become tankier when you're using it as long as you're in a fight, and you deal some significant AoE damage to those that are brave enough to stand around you. I'm just going to kind of casually walk in here. We do have our Jaina with us. Let's go ahead and pop Locust Swarm. If they want to trade with me, they're more than welcome to. Unfortunately, Jaina was taken down. I need to be using my shield a little bit more. It looks like the palm coming out for the enemy team's Monk is not going to save him as we dive in using our only escape. We are going to have to retreat now. The Monk did a really good job of saving that palm until the last moment. I did almost kill him there. One thing I need to do a little bit better, I'm already noticing this in my gameplay, is basically every single time your shield is off cooldown, fucking press your shield. Your W is so incredibly important to Anub'arak, so incredibly important. And I'm just going to try to fall back here and see if I can focus this flower down. Tassadar doing the right thing and contesting the enemy team's Garden Terror, while our friendly team has a Garden Terror of our own, pushing down the middle lane. They probably won't need me. Let's go ahead and burrow under that. They probably won't need my help too much, so we should be okay helping out here. I hope our Azmodan's doing a good job of getting stacks. The longer this game goes on, the better I feel about our chances to win. If Azmodan is going to be able to deal, you know, 1,000 damage with every single dunk, we're going to be pretty good. That being said, the enemy team has an Azmodan as well, so we'll see how this turns out, basically. I appear to be the only one doing any consistent damage to this guy, and as I mentioned, Anub'arak, not the best damage dealer in the whole world, so he is going to be alive for quite some time. Leoric popping out of the golem after it ends. We can go in here and try to make something happen middle. I don't think this is something we should necessarily force. Tychus definitely should be our main focus here. So we'll go ahead and just hit him with some crowd control. Not too big of a deal. Get out of the way of that gigantic swing of the enemy team's Leoric. We may actually be able to pick up a kill here, so I'm going to go ahead and pop my ultimate. This is once again giving us a ton of sustain. We're going to knock up the enemy team's Monk. burrow in front of him as well. There's the palm, which is going to keep him alive. Will my team be able to react fast enough? It doesn't look like we will, and we are going to need to fall back here. Using my shield, it is going to be the last little bit of mana that I had, and we are going to have to disengage. We should have a sippy cup, though. It's been broken up or in the middle, been broken up top two. And it looks like it's being taken care of by the split-pushing Abathur, who was taking advantage of our complete and utter focus on the middle lane. We are going to be picking up Burning Rage at level 13, as you guys probably know by now. On hard initiators, Burning Rage is one of my favorite talents that I can get. You know, it says it only does 36 damage a tick. That is going to scale up throughout the course of the game. It increases our ability to come into the jungle and clear it effectively. It increases our ability to push lanes right now. And if you've been following the competitive meta, basically, tanks are used, warriors are used based on how well they can take damage and how well they can push lanes. Both of those things are very important. This is why we saw some Anub'arak play at the Americas Championship, unless I'm mistaken. This is why we saw some play from Rexar, because Rexar, of course, can get his swooping bird out and do a lot of minion pushing. This is also why we didn't really see much Tyrael, because Tyrael has to spend a lot of mana to make his lane pushing happen. Looks like there has been a team fight going on down here for a little while now, and it actually looks like we're winning. So I'm going to go ahead and flank the enemy team, although my team getting very low on health all of a sudden. I'll go ahead and pop Locust Swarm. Just do some crowd control here. Not gonna push this too aggressively. Just gonna throw out some crowd control where it's needed. Stay in this fight. Remember, with Locust Swarm up, we are incredibly tanky, but it looks like my team is falling back for the most part, so we're gonna fall back as well. Unfortunately, I do have the laser from Azmodan hitting me pretty hard, and it looks like, yeah, I just overcommitted to that. That's all that was. My team was falling back, which was the right thing to do, considering how low they were on everything. I really like this Jaina's color coordination. That looks great. Meanwhile, Sylvanas pushing the middle lane very, very, very aggressively. As you know from the last video, where I was doing a split push Abathur, a Sylvanas can be the bane of your existence. So our Sylvanas is absolutely doing all the right things here, applying pressure to lanes that our friendly team is not necessarily focusing on. So far, pretty low kill game for the most part. Our friendly team only having 3 kills and the enemy team only having 5. This has come down to a lot of sieging. I also just noticed what my mount was, and you're going to have to forgive me for this terrible color coordination. I think my mount has been this on Anub'arak for a while, and I just keep forgetting to change it. Oh, so let's take a look at their team. Auto attack, and probably increasing auto attack. Yes, so we are going to go for Imposing Presence. At level 16, Imposing Presence is going to be our answer to Tychus and our answer to the Monk. The Monk is going to be healing every time he auto-attacks me, presumably. We may need to back up out of here. Yeah, not worth dying for. Not worth dying for at all. I am going to go ahead and re-engage here, though. On top of the enemy team's Monk, we're going to pop our Locust Swarm. There's the Divine Palm, but here's my knock-up, trying to keep him controlled. We do miss, but we are going to be able to take him down. Now, switching my focus over to the enemy team's Tychus. We're going to try to zone him out of this fight, while my friends on the friendly team are dealing with Leoric. And just like that, we should be able to take down this keep, no problem. The enemy team still pushing forward. As you can see, my Beetles were actually doing a really good job there of continuing to deal damage to Tychus. And keep in mind, they're healing me every single time they auto-attack. A lot of people do not take the time to kill the Beetle. So as long as you're hitting your W every single time it's off cooldown, and you're periodically spawning your Beetle's Tychus stepping way too far forward, definitely should have been taken out by the friendly team there. As long as you're continuously spawning everything you possibly can, you are going to be healing for a ton. With Anub'arak. Alright, we just need to peace out now. We did everything we needed to do. We got that keep just fine. If I need to sacrifice myself to keep the team alive, I will do that, but it's not looking like that's going to be the case. We might actually be able to pick up another kill on the enemy team's Leoric here. Great Palm is going to keep him alive yet again, and I'm just going to call for the retreat once more. So we should be able to get out of here, no problem. No problem at all. I'm going to try to recall right here. Sylvanas should be the one to go up here and deal with that, but I can go I can go deal with it. That's no problem. Maybe. Stop it! Stop killing all the things! The Spin of Friendship coming out yet again. And Sylvanas doing the right thing and recalling to take care of this. The enemy team actually pursuing the remainder of the friendly team down at the Golem. We do have ours spawning. Who wants the terror? It really should not be me. I'm our only front line. If Azmodan wants to get it, that's good. I don't mind that. He, however, is not moving right now. There he goes. He's going to get it. So, we started this camp prior to... No. Okay. He just kind of walked right by it. Alright, Sylvanas also should not be the one to get this Garden Terror. It should have definitely been Azmodan, but you know what, that's fine. So we did start this camp prior to the Terror being taken. So say if Azmodan did jump in the Terror there, we would still be able to complete that camp. As long as you start it before the plant actually spawns. If you wait a little bit too long, all of the mercenary camps on the map do disappear. So that is kind of important if you want to if you want to capitalize on your pushing potential. Right now the enemy team is split pretty heavily. I'm just casting my W every single time it's off cooldown, trying to generate as many beetles as I can, and this is going to allow me to regenerate some health while we're pushing in here. Looks like the friendly team did an amazing job of focusing down the enemy team's terror. Let's go ahead and pop our ultimate, and we'll walk in here and be aggressive with our positioning. You can see the massive amount of healing we are getting every single second. Unfortunately, our Sylvanas is the one inside of this terror. We are going to have to disengage with our burrow really quick. But again, continuing to spawn beetles to stay in this fight. We are going to go... Rewind is usually what I go for at level 20. I don't think Rewind is actually the most popular talent anymore, however. I think its popularity kind of died off. This isn't looking too good for us all of a sudden. So we're just going to disengage. Leoric re-engaging on our Jaina. We're going to try to deter him from doing that. Sylvanas did stay in there really deep for a really long time, but it looks like she's going to get out of here as well. Now the enemy team obviously knows that we are going to be going for this golem, so we should be expecting a fight. But once again, the ever-diligent split-pushing Abathur doing exactly what I was doing in the last video, taking advantage of our full attention on one certain thing. The only difference is our Sylvanas is not hard countering Abathur as hard as the Sylvanas in the previous video was, which is fine. I mean, that's a playstyle choice. You either decide that as a Sylvanas you want to be in every team fight landing those silences, or as a Sylvanas you want to just focus on controlling lanes. That's totally a playstyle choice. Unfortunately for the Slug, I just saw him, so if he is not leaving, he is going to be taken down by my crowd control. Nope. Ah, get the Slug! And we are going to take him down. I'm sorry that I killed a friend and viewer. I'm very happy that I can yell again a little bit, or at least get a little bit excited. In the last video, I'm sure it was pretty apparent that my voice had not fully recovered yet from losing it in Vegas. Now, Leoric did move in to take this mercenary camp. The enemy team's starting to gather up here. We do not have our Azmodan here, so I'm just going to ping for assistance. Continuing to hit my W every time it's off cooldown. Top lane is getting pushed kind of hard, but we have Sylvanas, so that doesn't matter. We can just kind of move in and focus this down as fast as we wanted to. Basically, Sylvanas is passive if you don't know already. Beautiful silence! Is it going to be enough to take down the enemy team's monk? Yes, it is. Now moving in on Leoric, who is potentially body blocked. I don't know if he already used his creepy walk yet, but it looks like we are going to take him down. Now I'm going to have to cast my lifesteal. I'm going to go ahead and rewind, knock up the enemy team's Tychus, burrow in on Tychus as well, and try to take him down, all the while being focused extremely hard by a laser. So there you go. That's the tankiness. That is the tankiness of Anub'arak right there. It comes in bursts, though. So as of right now, I am pretty squishy. Not too sure why we aren't dealing any damage to this core as of right now. We definitely need to. Leoric is going to be spawning very soon. Yeah, I think we focused heroes rather than the core. We definitely had an opportunity to end the game there, or at least get this. I'm still in favor of getting this, but our Sylvanas is back in our base, so it's not the best idea in the whole world, unfortunately. We definitely could have won the game there, though. That's kind of the decisiveness, or indecisiveness, I've been seeing in Quick Match lately. But hey, whatever. You get what you get, and then you make the best of it. We are, however, controlling the mercenaries pretty well right now. This one has a 2-minute spawn left. Not too sure how those got out of sync, actually, because we were picking those up at the same time every single time, I thought. The friendly team starting to regroup top. We are not all together, though, so I'm going to ping for assistance up here as I join the blue squad on our team. We need to just keep in mind that we are outnumbered here pretty heavily. Everyone on the enemy team is going to be at this location. Jaina and Tassadar now starting to move in, but again, we do need to be cautious. My ultimate is off cooldown, so we do have that burst lifesteal that we may need. We still do not have Jaina here. Did she just... Someone just blinked. Why did someone blink? Alright. Well, now that the whole team is here to witness us, I think I am going to just pop my ultimate and walk in. Hopefully this will give our friendly team enough time to take down the fort. Then we're going to disengage when the skeletal swing comes out, rewind, and knock Leoric up into the air, completely stopping him from getting away. Going back in for some crowd control on the monk. That's going to secure his death. And now, once again, in a great position to win the game. Will we be able to do so this time? I certainly hope so. We're going to go in and kill this mule. I do not want them healing any more than what they passively get from the shields. And this looks like it may be good game. Maybe. Leoric is respawning. Yep, we're going to win. So there you go. That is Anub'arak. I probably called him Azmodan a few times throughout the course of this video, which I do on a pretty regular basis on accident anyway. Doesn't help that there were both Azmodan and Anub'arak in the same game. I would say that this is the predominant build if you were looking into playing Anub'arak these days. The build I used here today would probably be the predominant build that you would use. You go for beetles in the early game into a Locust Swarm. You can pick up the I forgot what it's called, his other ultimate, the one that puts, I think it's Cocoon. You can pick up the Cocoon if they have, you know, a high priority healer that you need to interrupt, like a Lily or something, who is able to deal able to heal with jugs from the back line, and you want to be able to interrupt her consistently and take her out of the fight. You can basically use it as a Void Prison on one target. That's how I always think about it, or a Maw on one target. With no chance of missing. It's not a skill shot ability. Burning Rage increases your overall damage output. Imposing Presence I picked because they had some significant auto attack damage. And then Rewind, because again, the whole mentality of the build, to me anyway, is that you want to spawn as many beetles as possible to deal more damage and heal for more. So Rewind lets you get 3 more beetles out on the map whenever you want them. I think at any given point you can have 7 beetles out with Rewind, like instant spawn them, which is really strong. Every time one of those guys auto attacks, it's like 23 health or something. You can go back and look to see how much it was at the end of the game. Like I said, it's been a while since I've played Anub'arak. But yeah, 40,000 hero damage is not bad. We mitigated 60,000. We did definitely have a lot of help from our Tassadar. And the Avatar just said that he watched my Avatar video and he was using the same build I was, so hopefully he enjoyed it. This was a pretty fun game. I think I talked about everything I wanted to, so thank you all for watching. I am going to continue to go down the list of heroes. Up next, we are going to have ourselves Arthas. Oh, I miss Arthas. I haven't played him in so long. So thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.